You know that feeling, right? That the more stuff you chase, the more you hustle, the less secure you actually feel? Well, today we're going to dig into a story that's literally thousands of years old, but somehow it feels like it was written about our lives, right here, right now. Okay, this sentence right here, this is the heart of our entire explainer. It's such a powerful warning about the hidden costs of the things we think we want the most. We're going to unpack exactly what this means by diving into one of the most famous fables ever told.
All right, first up, A Tale of Two Mice. We're going to start with the original story itself, which comes to us from the ancient Greek storyteller Aesop. It's a real masterpiece of practical wisdom.
So the whole story really boils down to the conflict between these two very different characters. You've got the country mouse. She's happy, she's perfectly content with her simple life. And then you've got the town mouse, who's totally convinced that real happiness, well, that can only be found in luxury and sophistication.
And this is where things get interesting. The country mouse offers up what little she has, being a good host. But the town mouse, he just looks at it and sees poverty, not peace. He scoffs and starts painting this irresistible picture of a magnificent, luxurious life waiting for them in the city.
And you know what? At first, the promise is totally real. They get to this huge mansion, and there's just an incredible feast laid out. I mean, can you imagine the sights, the smells? For the country mouse, this must have felt like an absolute dream come true.
But just as she's about to finally get a taste of that sweet life, bam, everything shatters. A single terrifying sound just freezes them in their tracks. And that dream, it instantly turns into a nightmare.
They dive for cover, hearts just pounding in their chests. And in that moment, all that fancy food, the pastries, the cheese, it means absolutely nothing. There's just this crushing silence and a whole lot of fear. The price of this fancy meal is starting to become crystal clear.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. The illusion of safety is just completely gone. It's pure chaos. Servants come in, a house dog appears, and the mice are sent scrambling for their lives all over again. This grand mansion, it's not a paradise, it's a battlefield.
And that's the breaking point for our country mouse. She's had enough. She has this huge realization that her simple food back home, eaten in peace, is worth infinitely more than any feast you have to eat in terror. She makes a choice. She chooses peace over plenty.
Okay, so why are we talking about a couple of mice? Well, let's look at how this ancient story is a mirror for our own world. This isn't just a kid's story. It's a powerful metaphor for the high-anxiety trade-offs we find ourselves making every single day.
Let's break this down. That lavish banquet they couldn't eat, that's the lifestyle we finance with debt that keeps us tossing and turning at night. And the sophisticated but unreliable town mouse, think of that as our network of useful contacts who offer zero real support when things get tough. And that tempting cheese, well, that's the endless cycle of buying stuff, hoping the next purchase will finally make us happy when it really just delivers more anxiety.
So this brings us to a really critical question, and it's for you to think about. In your own life, as you chase more comfort, more status, more things, are you, maybe without even realizing it, trading away your own peace of mind? All right, so if that kind of luxury is a trap, what's the alternative? How do we get out of it? Or better yet, how do we avoid it in the first place? Let's try to redefine what it really means to be wealthy and successful. The key, really, is this idea of contentment. And hold on, because I know what you might be thinking. This isn't about being passive or not having any ambition. It's actually the opposite. It's about having the strength to find wealth in what you already have, to be free from that constant nagging anxiety that it could all disappear tomorrow. This gets to the real psychological core of the fable, doesn't it? The town mouse might have more, but she lives in constant fear. The country mouse has less, but she's free. So the fable is really asking us to put two things on a scale, the pleasure of owning something on one side and the anxiety of losing it on the other. For you, which one is heavier? And this leads us to the most important insight of all. True security, real stability, it isn't external. It's not the big house, the fancy job title, or the expensive car. Real, unshakable stability is something you build inside yourself. It's like an inner fortress.
Okay, so if we're going to build that inner fortress, how do we actually do it? Let's get practical. This last section is all about a toolkit for building a contented life on your own terms.
The first big idea is to consciously separate our effort from our anxiety. So, on a personal level, that means you have to guard your mental peace like it's your most valuable asset. Interpersonally, It's about choosing real, true friends over a giant network of competitors. And professionally, it means committing to a steady, sustainable pace, not that frantic, burnout-inducing chase for more, more, more. And to help make this stick, here are a few ideas you can use to anchor yourself. Call them mantras, call them daily reminders, whatever works. For instance, just telling yourself, my peace is non-negotiable and my greatest asset. See, these aren't just empty words. They're declarations. They're you claiming your right to a calm, centered life.
So, at the end of the day, this whole story, this whole explainer, it really just boils down to this one profound truth. And the real challenge isn't just understanding this idea, it's remembering it when the world dangles its own glittering, fancy banquet in front of you. So the question it leaves us with is, which mouse are you going to choose to be?